Okay. All right. Introductions. Go ahead, Trish.
Good morning. I'm Trish Williams from Kappa Upsilon. I've been a member of DKG for 16 years and served as president of Kappa Upsilon during the last biennium. Thank you.
I'm Brenda Whitlock. I'm president of Zeta Theta. Our chapter is up in Sherman. I've been a member of Delta Omicron for about 16 years, and I served as president when I was in Louisiana, and now I'm over here in my birthplace, Texas, now serving over here. Thank you. Sharon?
I'm Sharon Krause. I have been a member of Delta Kappa Gamma since 1983. I have served as president one biennium at Eta Zeta, but I am in Eta Eta chapter now, and I have just completed 2 bienniums as president.
Trina.
I'm Trina Perkins. I'm a member of Gamma Beta. I've been a member for 28 years. I've served nearly every office in our chapter. Right now, I'm not serving as an officer, but I was first vice president when we did our Tech project.
My name's Elizabeth Knott. I'm from Wiley, Texas. I'm a member of New Gamma. I was one of the charter members. We started 4 years ago, and I served as the corresponding secretary the first biennium of our chapter.
Hi, my name is Christy John. I am last biennium's president, and this biennium I'm the co-membership chair with Kendall Hassey. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you all today and hosting this session.
Hi, I'm Karen Kirkpatrick, a member of Kappa Zeta in Grayson County. I have just started my 48th year of teaching. I have served twice as president, and my last term as president, I was co-president with my daughter.
And I'm Mary Ann Story. I'm a charter member of Kappa Zeta in 76, so that lets you know how long I've been in. I've held several offices, including 2 terms as president, and currently serving as first vice president.
Our guidance for applying, you have to, first of all, decide what your project is going to be, and you have to make it attainable. Look at the size of your chapter and what you could probably do logistically. If it involves a school, you want to contact your principal for his or her input, decide on what they want, the times that they want. Involve the faculty and get their feedback. We do this by, when we deliver our project, we get feedback by giving them pieces of paper that have questions and answers on them that they can get back to us. Be sure to use your statistics and information to support your project's worth. By this, I'm talking about you need to know about the school you're dealing with, the people you're dealing with, and the information to give you rationale when you complete your grant. Do some research before you begin, because some of it takes a little time to get together, and you don't want to give yourself 1 day or 2 days to get your application together. It's going to take a little bit longer. And the application this year will become available in mid-October of this year, 2020.
Okay, so before, during your process, you want to make sure to ask for the funds you need. So try to have a total in mind before you apply. Any funds that you do not use, you will need to return. Stay on top of your reports. Don't wait until the last minute. Keep a spreadsheet of all your materials and supplies so it's easy to total everything up. So not all members will be able to participate in every single part of the project. So try to divvy up the job so that everyone can be included some way.
Have to unmute myself. I forget that sometimes. All right, a few things to make your project a little bit easier is don't wait till the last minute to apply. And I'm going to wrap myself out. Kendall and I did. So don't wait till the last minute to apply, because you're going to want to include your chapter members. You're going to want to collaborate with them or have a committee to help you figure out your rationale and find research for your project. Like I said, collaborate with many in your chapter or have that committee. Be sure to have a strong rationale for your project. Take pictures along the way. That's super important, and you will see why here in just a second. Collaborate with the faculty if you are working at a school. The reason for that is because they will tell you what they need or what they wish they had. So that's going to make your project that much more special. Keep up with your receipts, and that'll help with your reports and your monies that you will have to send back. Designate one person to keep up with your project to help oversee the details, like a project chair. In our chapter, that happens to be Kendall. Kendall was awesome at that. She helped work with our treasurer and make sure that those reports went when they were supposed to. And then also, when taking pictures of children if involved in your project, which most are, be sure to blur their faces or cover their faces if using their pictures in presentations, especially like at conventions and such. For today's presentation, we know that we have some pictures of children. Just be sure that you know that those faces need to be covered if you're doing a presentation larger than this. And here's a link at the bottom of the page to the ASTEF projects, and you can go there to find more information. This PowerPoint will be shared with everybody afterwards.
Good morning. Kappa Upsilon enjoys working together to implement and complete projects, and we've benefited from the support of ASTEF through project stipends. This past year, we received $1,500 stipend to support vulnerable children through Dallas CASA. Dallas CASA is a nonprofit organization of volunteers who advocate for abused and neglected children in the protective care of the courts. Our project CASA included several activities. We collected school supplies, diapers, $15 Walmart gift cards for advocates to use as birthday gifts. Excuse me. We publicized and hosted a CASA information session to help recruit new advocates from our community. We made 100 no-sew t-shirt bags at 2 Kappa Upsilon meetings. We made 50 at each one, and we purchased 294 new books for children from toddlers to teens. We used our funds to purchase 100 t-shirts, to purchase books, and on our application, books were listed by the amount of funds designated for a specific age rather than the number of books. We bought books for preschoolers, primary age children, intermediate grade students, and teens. One of our members had an account with First Book, so she was able to order our books at a very reasonable price. We also had a small amount of money designated to print flyers for the information session. I want to share just a little bit about how we selected our project. We gather a group of people together to determine what we might select for our project for next year. Everyone is invited to attend, and members can send their ideas if they're unable to come. Some project ideas make great projects, but may not be doable as an ASTEF grant. You want to be sure that your project can be carried out as written. It took a while for us to settle on CASA. We knew that we wanted to support it, but we needed to determine how. To help inform members of what CASA does, we had a CASA employee make a presentation at one of our meetings. And during that meeting, we tied no-sew fleece blankets and collected diapers. Because CASA receives blankets each year, we needed to support them in a different way. Our chapter especially enjoys literacy projects. So one of our members told us about the No-Sew t-shirt bags. The bags were an important part of our project because we made them during 2 meetings. We had our business meeting, and then we made the bags while we socialized. In addition to how you will use a stipend, you should also think about other ways that your chapter can support the organization. For COSTA, we hosted the information session and collected items. It is important to choose something that all members can be involved in, so make a list of tasks. Members can be involved in different aspects of the program, of the project. Many made t-shirt bags, one purchased the t-shirts, one purchased the books, one made the flyer for the information meeting, some posted flyers in the community to publicize the meeting, some made refreshments for the information session, some delivered items to CASA on Swiss Avenue near downtown Dallas, and some donated school supplies, diapers, and Walmart gift cards. Be sure to contact the organization to see how you can support them. Let them know what support you would like to offer and if it is needed or wanted. One thing we found from Dallas CASA is they have very limited space for storage, so they needed items that would be used pretty soon. Also, create a project activity chart to keep the group on task. This might be included in the application. We created one by month that included the activity, location, and the reason for the activity. And just a couple of tips for implementing the project. This was mentioned in the previous slide, but designate one person to oversee the project. This is so important. They may need to ensure that the activities and tasks are carried out when they're proposed, and they may need to make phone calls or send texts as reminders. This person should also keep track of the funds spent. Save a copy of all the receipts so that you know what has been spent and how much money is left in each category. This person should also record information about activities and participation. The mid-year and end-of-year reports ask about activities and how many members participated. And they should also maintain the photos and be aware of the requirements of the ASTEF grant. If you do not know what the reports require, you may be caught without photos and info. One thing I learned is that they do prefer photos in landscape format rather than portrait. Take photos and record activities throughout the year so that you will have both for the mid-year and the end-of-year reports. ASTEF project stipends can give purpose and camaraderie for members and enrich the life of your chapter. Thank you so much. I want to just look at the pictures that are shown. One has us delivering school supplies to Dallas CASA. We also delivered diapers, and we had to mail the Walmart gift cards because they were closed because of COVID. And then pictures of people making t-shirts. If you look at the one in the middle, I had probably over 20 pictures of different people making them all portrait, but sometimes they need them in landscape to put on, to use for their purposes. So the next slide. You can see our CASA information session, and the woman on the very right, she's Sarah Smith from Dallas CASA. And then these are half of the book bags that we made, and I just put some books in to take the picture. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your projects. And now to Brenda Whitlock.
Good morning. Several of our chapter members went to state convention a couple of years ago, and we attended an ASTEF session. The presenters began talking about these projects and how we could get stipends to help us. So we decided that's the way we wanted to go. We're a very small chapter, and so we're very limited in money and in personnel. We got into our fall session with our first meeting, and we told the ladies what we would like to do and that they were very excited about doing a project. We decided to do a project that would help our area of where we meet there in Sherman. And there are several Title I schools, and several of us that taught in Title I schools, and that's where our heart is. So that's where we wanted to really help out. So we decided it was too late then at that time to apply for us to do a project that year, but we wanted to go ahead and get our feet wet and do a project. So we did it with our own money, and we gained some experience from that. We're small chapters, so we had to do something that was very attainable for us to do. So we came up with a basket of books project. We decided to give reading books to first grade classes in one Title I school. We began to look at our resources and the cost of our project. So we chose one school close to us, and we decided that we would do that one particular school this past year, or year before last. And so we went and made an appointment with the principal and talked with her and got her permission, and we told her our idea, and she was thrilled with it. And she gave us permission to deliver these baskets, and we put them on the order of spring. And so we decided to get the books to her in right before Easter. Different people worked on the projects at different times. Some picked up books, sometimes we went in a group to pick up books. We had one lady that worked through the school in Sherman High School, and she does an internship with some of the students there that are going into education. We use those students also. So that was a learning experience from them. We had baskets all over, a children's book for each basket, crayons. We even went into the dental offices and asked for donated dental supplies, and they gave that to us. And as you can see on the first picture here, we made Easter bunnies, as you can see, out of washcloths. That took a little time, but it was fun. And after we got all of our supplies together, we put them in a basket. We had a work day, and everyone got together. You can see the baskets there in the front that were being done. We delivered them to the school, and helping our chapter were these high school girls. As they helped us deliver them to the schools, they got to go into the schools, deliver the baskets to the children, and then they got to stay and read to them. And it was wonderful. In fact, this year we gave 2 scholarships to 2 of the girls that helped us in that activity. While we were working on this, we definitely wanted to use a stipend from ASTEF. So while we were all working on this, I began working on the process of this application, which I'd never done before. But we began to gather our statistics of what we had learned through doing it on our own. We did all of our research on the schools that we wanted to do. We began to realize what we could do, and so and what we were going to provide. And since we had already done one school, we decided this year to make an application for 2 schools. And we thought that might stretch us, but it hasn't. When we made our application, we made it for like $700, and we got that $700, and we knew that we could function on that. And so when we went to the convention last year and we got that $700, you would thought it was Christmas time. We were so excited, like we got $1 million. We were jumping up and down and hugging each other because we had done it, and now we were going to get to do it again. And this time we were going to get some help, and we got to expand it. Before we got our project completely finished, COVID stepped in and hit us like everybody else, and we had to put it on hold. Thank goodness everything had been bought, but we had not put them together, and we were going to have to readjust our delivery time. So we've got back on track now. We've got our date set. In fact, this next week we're going to get together and we're going to put our baskets together, and the following week we're going to deliver the baskets to 2 elementary schools in Sherman, and we're still going to be able to use these intern teachers from Sherman High School that's going to come in and help us. It's a very wonderful endeavor for, I think, for our chapter. We've gotten closer. We've got more people got involved with what we were doing, and that's been a real focus of what throughout the year of what we're going to do. The project is always on our mind, and be able to use these, but also use those high school students too. I think that was very good. So that is our small little project, not as big as some of the others, but I think we've got some more pictures if you want to show those. There we go. There's some of the baskets that we got together. We're getting the baskets ready to stuffing the basket. And as this is one picture, and I pulled the picture in a little bit because so you couldn't see the child's face, but that after they got their books, they were reading them and they were very excited. Sharon, it's your turn now. From Etta.
Yeah. Ada chapter started with the homeless population. We were finding out that Dallas was really having a lot of homeless teens. And since most of us had worked in DISD, we decided to do this project on our own without the we had not applied for an ASDF scholarship. So we ended up working with Hope Supply, and we did hygiene and birthday boxes, and we had fun doing those. My chapter really likes to do projects and work with their hands and put stuff together. And so we had to do shoe boxes. We did shoe boxes for birthday boxes, and we had to wrap the bottom and the tops individually. And we used the plastic boxes for the hygiene boxes so that they could carry their, so the teens could carry their supplies with them. And that was very successful, and Hope Supply was very pleased. And you can see on the first picture there is, that's our treasurer, and she went to Hope Supply and helped pack backpacks and took supplies that we had gathered for those. And then the next year we applied and received the grant, and we were able to do more of the hygiene boxes and the birthday boxes. And for the Christmas box, or the hygiene boxes and the birthday boxes, we put things like a scarf, neck scarf, earmuffs, gloves, things of that nature that could keep them warm while they were possibly on the streets. And so we also helped with stocking the food pantry in the one of the homeless shelters. The one picture there shows us putting the boxes together. The middle picture is the new Fannie C. Harris drop-in center. It is going to house maybe 20 or so homeless students who are without anybody, and they're unaccompanied, and they will be allowed to stay there for a while. And then you see this other picture over here. It's the saying, it's a new facility. We've not been through it yet. We were going to be touring it, and they didn't finish it because of COVID. But we applied for a grant, and we decided, in addition to the hygiene boxes we were doing, we wanted to start a library for the drop-in center. And so we were given a nice grant, and we have started the library. We could not deliver the books because of COVID, but in the next set of slides, you will see 3 people, and the lady in the middle was our program chair, and she's the one who really got us into doing this. And they delivered the books for the new library once they have finished the facility. And on the left is where it's an example of a room that's going to be furnished for a student to be able to live there for a little while. We used part of our money to purchase, or we actually gave it to Fannie C. Harris, to the drop-in center, and they were able to purchase a good quantity of food so that kids who were homeless could come by and grab some food so that they would have food for dinner that night. They also have a program, and we didn't get to do this, but we will hopefully this next year. We would buy food and take it down on a Friday night, feed them a dinner, and then stay and play games with them. from like 4 to 6 o'clock. And we're hoping to get that done this year. But with COVID, everything has been kind of put on hold. They are starting a garden, and they have invited us when COVID is lifted to come down and help in the garden. We had a virtual tour of the new facility, and it is state of the art, modern day. These homeless teens can go in. They have a washing machine and dryer where they can wash their clothes so that they will have some clean clothes for the next day. It's really something that our chapter jumped on, and we have enjoyed it, and we're going to continue to do this project even if we do not get a grant. We did not apply this year because we thought maybe the new officers coming in might want to do a different program, but we have voted to continue this program, and I'm very excited because it is so wonderful for these homeless teens, and I know I've had them in my classes, so Ada is on target. Thank you. Trina Perkins.
Morning. I'm representing Gamma Beta today. Gamma Beta has always worked with the Samaritan Inn, and the Samaritan Inn is a homeless shelter in Collin County. Our chapter has been working with them for numerous years. We usually donate supplies to them each month. But with COVID, we've been having to do Amazon and all of that stuff, but we would collect things like toilet paper, all kinds of hygiene stuff, and things in take each month to the Samaritan Inn. On their website, they always have a list of things they need, so we would check that list and we would collect things that are meeting, and then someone would be responsible to take it to them. When we found out about the access grant, we decided we wanted to do some other things for the children at the Samaritan Inn, and we have received 3 grants over the years. 2 of them were for reading, and one of them was a Dr. Seuss birthday party that we had one evening at the Samaritan Inn, and we brought in characters, and we brought in Dr. Seuss books, and we brought in Dr. Seuss little stuffed animals, and the members read to the children, and they also explained to the parents how to read with their children and ask them questions about it, which was really, really good because a lot of the parents, they don't know what to do about reading and how to help their children. So they were very appreciative of that. Our second project was also with reading, but it was with nonfiction books. And we talked about the difference between the nonfiction books and fiction books and how they helped your children learn different things about different things. And with that presentation, we had a guest speaker. We invited Critter Man to come, and he came and brought his animals for the children, which was absolutely fabulous. They loved it. Our latest project has been Game Day at the Samaritan Inn, and what we did is we made games. We made some educational games. We purchased lots of different games. And on our pictures here, you can see we divided the games up into age groups. We had like 4 tables, and each table was an age group. And we had games on the table for them. When the children came into our presentation, we talked to them and we registered them and we got their name and we got how old they were. We took that little card that we filled out and we back to a table and we filled the bag. The things we had made, things we had purchased, and put them in a bag. So they had flashcards, they had homemade games. Most of them had dominoes, playing cards, a checker set, little checker game that we had purchased. And then they got to choose a board game that they liked. And we let them pick whatever they wanted. In fact, a couple of the little babies, we ended up giving them 2 little games for them. So we had an extra one. We had children from like a year-old up to like 16 nearly. I think she was fixing to turn 16, the oldest little girl that was there. And I remember every time we've done these projects, the family have been so appreciative, and it has been such a rewarding pleasure for our chapter. We will continue to work with the Samaritan Inn. It's a wonderful organization, and they help lots of families. One thing about that is we have to keep checking with them when we do our projects, because their population changes like monthly. And so I had to keep, or whoever was in charge had to keep up and ask how many people are there, because about in January when I asked, they had lots more little children than they did the older kids, whereas in the fall they had older kids. So we had to readjust some of our games that we bought and purchase some different smaller games. I really think that this project that Access has started is wonderful. I think it helps all of us grow. I think it helps a lot our communities to grow and make them a better place for everyone. Also, if she'll move up a picture, I'll tell you about the other ones. This is the one with the games and the little kids playing. I think there's some more pictures, Christy, of the games, and there's some pictures of us. Christy?
Sorry, is it that one? Those are the 4 that I have.
Christy?
Yes. Those are the
I think
4.
Elizabeth is next.
That one. That's the last one that I have for your.
Okay, this slide right here. See this long table? That is the table we had with all the games laid on it, and behind there where the bags are. And the lady in the middle is registering the children when they came in. And this is one of the older little girl that came and played one of the games. These ladies filled the bags with, each kid probably got at least 5 to 10 little things in their bag that was a game to play. And then this is at the first picture on here is at our meeting where we made cutout games, and then it has the bags. There's another where we cut out games, and this is our group. Yeah, that's the group. That's our group picture. And so that shows you what the tables look like. Yes. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's the bag. Thank you. Christy, I'm done. I think it's Elizabeth that's next.
Yes, I'm ready. Okay, so I'm Elizabeth Knott from New Gamma, and we have applied for ASTIF grants for 3 years in a row, and we continue to support one of our Title I schools in Wiley, Hartman Elementary. Hartman serves our pre-K students, and we have 2 half-day programs that run, and so our group, our second year of being a chapter, wanted to support Hartman and our youngest learners, and we wanted to give them something that they could take home and use with their families and help them be prepared for school. So we initially started with talking to our pre-K teachers and the principal to see what sort of needs that the kiddos might have, and we brainstormed some activities and items that could go in a goodie bag that we could send home. So the first picture is our first bag filling night. This was our first year of doing this activity. And so we came together at the beginning of each summer to have these bags prepared and ready to go. And if you can go to the next one. So we also recruited children of our members to help us. That was actually one of my students. So that was our first year. To do that, we put things like whiteboards, dry erase marker, books, pencil, crayons, just things that they could use at home. So if you'll go to the next one. And there's one of our bags from the first year. We also found some flashcards. Each year it looked a little different depending on what we were able to find. And the next picture shows us at Meet the Teacher. So the first year we came to Meet the Teacher night, and the pre-K students would pick up their bags on their way to their classroom, and then they had it to work on at home. So there's a few more pictures from that first night of the kiddos getting their goodie bag. Go to the next one. And we also, the newspaper reported our project to let the city know what we've been working on. And our next one. The second year, Wiley did the roundup a little different. They had them come the first or second week of July. And so we had a station for them to stop at. And we were able to give the kids their goodie bags. Credit Union of Texas helped us out the second and third year by donating bags for us. So that helped with the cost. The next picture is some more of our, creating our bags that we passed out. And then this year with COVID, it kind of messed things up. So we had bag filling at my house the third year, pretty much with my two children and our previous chapter president. So we worked on it at home and were able to get those delivered to Wiley. And then they had a drive-through roundup for pre-K this year. And so the students were given bags at that, as well as a couple-week enrichment program they did in July. And that's all I have. So next is Christy.
Good morning, everybody, again. Theta Alpha chose to adopt a school this year and last year. We started by building a relationship with the staff by donating school supplies, writing letters of encouragement, making treat bags filled with chocolate, and we also delivered cookies and DKG Theta Alpha tote bags advertising what DKG is about. We asked the Arcadia Park principal what would benefit the school the most, and she told us that they wanted math fact stairs. Thus our goal was to continue working with Arcadia Park and to help build their math fact stairs. Unfortunately, like some of the others, COVID hit and we were unable to finish our stairs. However, you can kind of see here in this first picture, these are their front entry stairs that lead up to the upper grades. And the upper grades really wanted math facts, so we began our facts, I think, with the upper facts, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s for them. The strips look like this, and we created the strips in their school colors, blue and white. We originally had received 3 very high quotes, and that's why we applied for the ASTEP scholarship, because our chapter was just not financially ready to spend that amount of money. After we received the scholarship, we found a really good quote through Region 10, and they did the vinyl strips for us to put on the stairs. So Region 10 is a really good resource for things like this, so if any of you are interested in that. Then the back set of stairs lead up to the primary grade levels, and they requested to have sight words on theirs. So these are examples of what those sight word strips look like. So, and we called these the stairs that teach. The elementary students will benefit from these because they'll see them every day. So we thought that that was a really cool thing. So some of the other things that we did was our first meeting at Arcadia Park. We invited the faculty and staff to eat breakfast with us. We had several takers on that because it was the Saturday before school started. And so we invited them to have this giant breakfast with us. And after that breakfast, we filled their fridge with all of the leftovers, and we left them a nice little note and some information about DKG, lots of candy and things like that. we actually were able to recruit a couple of the teachers, and that they joined our chapter after this particular breakfast. So that was also good for our chapter. A couple other things that our chapter has done for our Adopt a School. We have, like I said, done the baggies with goodies. We've done thank you notes. We've done Valentine cards with chocolate. We sent some teaching kits for kids. We sent a big harvest basket full of school supplies. Our retired teachers have gone over there and they have volunteered at Arcadia Park and spent some time at the school also, and they have spent some time getting to know the teachers and the students there as well. So this has been real beneficial for our chapter. We love the school, we love their library, we meet there often. So this project is not finished yet, but as soon as we can get back into the school, we plan to put the strips on the stairs as a chapter, and we hope to invite the faculty and staff to help, or at least come and see them when they're finished. All right. And we are on to Karen and Mary from Kappa Zeta.
Well, we decided to apply for an ASTEF grant after a program by Susie Holloman, which is shown in our first picture here. She is a retired art teacher. She spent most of her younger years in the foster care system. So after retirement, she decided that she wanted to build a foster community for teenage girls. She has written a book about her life called My Five Moms, which she brought to the meeting. The community is named after her last foster family, the Garys, and was called Gary's Girls Ranch. And one of her foster sisters serves on her board of directors. She wanted to be able to build this home, or this community, debt-free. Land was donated in Grayson County to her for her project, which when finished will be 8 homes. During this time, the board visited other communities, and they came back and changed their charter to include sibling groups and younger children. So they changed the name to Gary's Foster Community. At this time, one house has been completed with a building called Gigi's Foster Closet for donations to the community. We as a chapter took a special interest in this because it's located in the S&S school district, and many of us have either taught there or still teach there, and we hold our meetings at S&S High School. Our project was to assist with the expenses for school activities such as dues for organizations, materials for projects, project entry fees such as 4-H, spirit wear, band instruments, and any other school expenses. And we also are available to volunteer and mentor any of the children. The first house was completed in late September was to be completed in late September or early October, with children in place by the end of October in 2019.
And to paraphrase the Scottish poet Robert Burns, the best laid plans go oft astray, and ours did. As she mentioned, weather affected the construction, and the inspections went on and on. Regulatory and licensing red tape stretched the time frame well into the fall. And then it was time for the mid-year progress report to ASTEF, and we discussed what the quandary. We couldn't do our original plan, the students weren't there. What could we do in the interim? And about that time, I was attending the State Spectaculars Texas Arts Retreat. If you haven't done it, try it. And my assigned roommate was Virginia Bowers. And as we chit-chatted and discussed things about our chapters and our experiences, I spoke about how excited we were about our project, but the quandary we had about our obstacles we were meeting. And as fate would have it, Virginia was the past chairman of the ASTEF grant committee, and she expanded on gave us the answer. Request that ASTEF grant you an amendment to your original plan because you've already thought about what you could do instead. So submit that. So we submitted with our mid-season report that request, and ASTEF approved our request. So we hoped that the students, at that time, we hoped the students would be moving in by spring break, and we proceeded to prepare for that. We assembled 6 laptop friendly backpacks because each student is provided a Chromebook. And then we packed those. The plan was to pack those with supplies of small computer, binder, pens, folder, paper, all of those kinds of things that would be helpful. And in addition, we plan to provide an activity or project box for the home, including a more expensive graphing calculator for homework. The others were available at school. Poster boards, paper, display board, scissors, tape, glue, everything you would need for a student to do a visual for a project or any type of project of that sort. So chapter members assumed the responsibility for acquiring specific listed items, and we were going to have them all ready and assembled, and then COVID hit. So we couldn't get back into the school to do that. So, and there were no students still at that point in time. So we were able to assemble several of our members together to deliver the supplies that we had for them to the home. And this was just at a time that the foster parents were in the process of moving in to the home. All of the licensing was done, all of the permitting was done, and as soon as they were moved in, they were ready to accept students from the group that was placing students. Currently, there are 4 students living in the home and attending classes at SNS ISD. And our plan is, hopefully, when the fall comes about and things even out and we are able, as time goes on, and we're able to implement the first part of our plan, that we will still want to do that because we think it would be a worthy cause. We have several other pictures that show pictures of the home and the house that was donated, the building that was donated to house donations that could be used in future homes. And this is the current home, as you see, and you're seeing it from the front. We are delivering supplies, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's a rainbow when they took the picture over Gigi's closet, which is somewhat symbolic. And so they have 11 acres, 10 to 11 acres, and a plan for 8 houses plus a barn. There is a small pond on the property. So, and the foster mom has chickens in a chicken house, so they're ready to have some adventures on this acreage out there. There's a picture somewhere on here of some of the students here walking from the street road up to the house, and you see the hands with the hearts symbolizing their unity that they're building in this home. And we love the concept, and we're very excited about having this community grow in Grayson County because we know there's a need for children to have a wonderful home-like atmosphere when they cannot be safely at their home. That's us. But the application, if it doesn't work, ask for an amendment to your plan, and then you can proceed with your amended plan. And we didn't know that. We didn't know that going in. So it was wonderful to us that I met Virginia and had a time to visit with her and be made aware that when the plan doesn't work, there's a way around it. Thank you.
Thank you to each of these chapters for sharing about the process and what it was like for you, and for inspiring us with your ideas. It's obvious you've made an incredible impact on your communities. But I also think the silver lining is how, the individuals in the chapters are impacted too, and what a joy it is to serve and to help others. So I'm Kelly Broadus, and I'm from neighboring Area 10. I'm serving as TSO Leadership Seminar Chairman this biennium. And then that means I'm also honored to be able to serve on the ASTEP board as an ex officio member. So ASTEP is so proud to have been able to have played a part in your projects and making your dreams a reality. And we want to make more dreams come true. And so we need your help. Typically at state convention, we hold fundraisers, a variety of fundraisers. And we raise anywhere between $15,000 and $19,000 doing that. And without our state convention this past summer, we need to try to make up that difference as much as possible. So, because we want to award more stipends next June in Denton. So the Dreammaker Convention Challenge was released this summer. And if you go to astef.org, you will be able to read more details about it. But basically, it's to get you to think about ways at convention that you might have contributed to the ASTEP funds, perhaps through raffles, Mystery Mania, maybe usually go to the ticketed event. There's a variety of ways that you probably have supported ASTEP in the past at convention. And so we ask you to think about that, to look at the different levels that are listed on that homepage of ASTEP's website. And to print off the form, there's a specific donation form for the Dreammaker Convention Challenge. The due date, though, is right upon us. It's September 30th. And so if you're not normally a convention attendee, we still would love your help, because you can see what an impact these projects have for our communities around the state. So we just thank you, Area 9, for continuing to support ASTEP, and we know that your contributions will continue to help us make many more dreams come true.